All the other music was copyrighted. Sorry, so you know you got to pay for that stuff. Until I can figure out how to do that, you get the. So what's happening? Welcome to Tim's got a YouTube channel. I do have a YouTube channel, and I'm Tim. You're not gonna see. You see anybody else on this motherfucker? You got problems. It's. I don't think I'll have anybody fill in. You know, it's not necessary. What are we talking about today? We're talking about the Samaritan with Sylvester Stallone and a bunch of kind of, you know, I would say B-listers. First off, I'm a kid of the 80s. So as soon as I see Sylvester Stallone doing anything, I get excited. Immediately, I thought it was another Rocky. I thought that Sylvester Stallone was gonna have to beat Michael B. Jordan's ass or something like that, or Sylvester Stallone was in a relationship with Laura Harvey. I didn't know what the fuck I thought was gonna happen, but I just wanted to see Sylvester Stallone on screen. It's muscle memory from when you were a kid. Remember, like it was him, and it was him and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like those were the guys, man. Take your shirt off, show me some muscles, like full on, you know. Every action movie ever. I even recall a interview that Schwarzenegger did where he said that sometimes, because they were always competing for bigger movie, bigger box office, bigger movie, bigger of, he would not take movies sometimes and put the word out so Sylvester would take it because it was a shitty movie. You know, they were just playing each other, man. So they're like, that was it. That's 80s action movie muscle memory. They came out with that last Rambo. I couldn't wait to watch that shit. Some things you just don't give a fuck about the story. Like, I'm going to watch Top Gun. I haven't watched it yet because I got a feeling that I'm going to be pretty disappointed. But I might not be. Mainly because it's so nostalgic for me. So when I see Sylvester Stallone doing anything, I'm like, oh, I'm going to watch it. He's only got like two faces. You know? What was that movie he did back in the day where I love when Sylvester Stallone tries to do comedy or something like that. But he's been in everything you can be in, you know? In The Samaritan, it's a superhero movie. We're not in a real town. I want to say they call it Granite City. I think that's the name of it. Has a real comic book kind of vibe to it. I love stories like that. I think that now I'm a Marvel fan. I'll actually be at Dragon Con coming up. I got to get some better equipment, man. I'll be at Dragon Con coming up this next week. I'm going to be at the parade. I'm going to show y'all some clips of that. I'm going to go to some parties, and I'm going to tell you like this, dog. When I go to these parties, some of these parties, they don't even allow you to have the cameras in. You go to Dragon Con, it's just a bunch of nerds trying to fuck and do drugs, man. It's awesome. I'm going with my wife, so I'll probably be fucking and doing drugs myself. Kids, don't do drugs. That was just a joke. So I love superheroes. I love it all, man. I love the story. I love the origin stories. I think the origin stories are the coolest part. I'm a big fan of those lame first ones, like that lame Captain America that came out, that first one where he was just a little nigga and then at the end they fought the Nazis. Like, nothing really, your origin story isn't that interesting. I always hate when people watch superhero movies and they're like, oh, that first one was lame. Like, you gotta tell the story. We can't just start flying around, nigga. It's weird. It's weird if you're just flying around and no one knows why you flying around. If you don't understand where Superman comes from, it's just weird. He's got to come from a place that exploded. He's got to be an orphan. Superman's got to be a lot of fucking sad things for him to be allowed to be flying around and have lasers coming out his fucking eyes. If there's some dude just flying around with lasers coming out of his eyes, we got to lay this nigga down. We got to lay him down. So that nigga comes with a heart of gold and he's an orphan and, you know, he misses his parents and he don't really be around that much. You only see him when he only show up when some shit about to explode and then he stopped the shit. Like, That's the most important part. So I love that kind of stuff. So I enjoy that. But a lot of people don't. They want action, 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 action. So the Samaritan has that. It doesn't have that Marvel quality. When people hear about superhero movies, they immediately think cape and skyscrapers and things like that. What was that movie? Unbreakable. I thought was a really, really awesome kind of take on superhero king. The way they pitted up the supervillain, how it could be in real life, because you have real life supervillains, right? Elon Musk, real life supervillain. I don't give a fuck what you say. I don't care what you say, and I would have to meet him, honestly. And I hope that one day that I will have the honor and the ability to meet or interview Elon Musk. But I can tell you straight up and down that I think the nigga's a supervillain. I do, man. He's got rockets. He creates new cars. I mean, he's like Batman without the kung fu. You know what I'm saying? This nigga don't. Like, if Batman was a yellow belt, that's Elon Musk. So I love that. Like, there's real life people doing really terrible things. Like, there's heroes, and there are those real things that happen in our lives. We have heroes and we have fucking villains. Some people think that the villains are our heroes. Some people love Donald Trump. Some people, it depends on where you stand. Some people think Adolf Hitler had it all figured out. So there are heroes and there are villains in real life. Comics and superhero stories like that just gave them a voice, and it gave them it gave you this world where you could see things from your point of view. That's why nerds like comics. Everybody's like, why do nerds like comics so much? Just think of every comic book. It's some guy with glasses, he's into science and something else, and then there's an explosion at a fucking lab, and then he can grab onto walls or fly or some shit like that. No one's alter ego, well, Tony Stark and Doctor Strange have very cool alter egos, so let me not say that. But even in the Marvel movies now, they have to normalize it. Like, in the new series She-Hulk, like, everybody's just come to terms with the fact that big green niggas walk around. Like, that's what's happening. Like, Marvel has blown up so much shit in the world that it was impossible for them to continue writing Avengers movies without them being like, hey, where the fuck is all this happening? All this shit is happening in New York, and now we just acting like everything's cool. Even in that new Batman, that Batman with Ben Affleck. Even in the Batman with Ben Affleck. Listen, man, he was a fine Batman. Ben Affleck's Batman he's like the Val Kilmer of Batmans. I don't know if you know the Batman series, but Val Kilmer was Batman once. So even Batman in the Batman and Superman series, Batman versus Superman, Batman's like, you got this motherfucker just flying around and battling aliens like this nigga's an alien too. Yes, Superman's an alien. Most people should be afraid of that shit. So they've normalized this. They've normalized it in these worlds. And She-Hulk, it's called She-Hulk Attorney at Law. All right. They're 30-minute episodes, so it takes a while before they get real good and corny. And now I'm only on episode 2. I'm watching it now. I should probably just stop and watch all of it and then do a review on it. But I got a 6-year-old little girl, so I'm watching fucking She-Hulk. That's what's happening. Very corny. It's got a real kind of UPN CW superhero vibe. I don't know if you remember the Flash and the nigga with the bow and arrow on CW. It's got that kind of vibe. Definitely. But it's She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, and they want her to just be the Hulk. while she's in the office. Like, they have a division for superheroes and supervillains. Like, that's how ridiculous it gets. You know, in X-Men, they do that. I like X-Men because it's got a real civil rights vibe. When X-Men came out, and they were like, you know, they was trying to eradicate them, and I was like, man, the X-Men are like black people. You know what I'm saying? I kind of felt that vibe. So I like that. You have to involve that. You have to add real time responses to these ridiculous situations. There are niggas flying around in costumes. There are niggas flying around in costumes, shooting lasers out of their eyes and making shit disappear. And they don't do magic. They're not on the Vegas Strip. This is what they do. And there are other people. There are other people with powers that want to do bad shit. Like, I'm positive if I had powers, I'd be a villain, nigga. I'm just sure of it. So, that being said, I think somebody just rang my doorbell. Hold on. Alright, never mind. Everybody, there was a slumber party last night, man. It's literally impossible to record anything. I've got screaming children running all over the house. But yeah, so it's good to do that real time shit, man. You got to get involved. It gives people perspective because it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous sequence of events. There's a big green man climbing along the side of the buildings, and he's on our side. Nigga, what are you talking about? So I like those real time. I like those real time. I gotta put this do not disturb on, man. Woo! People want to talk to me. It's Saturday night, so everybody kind of wants me to perform tonight. I enjoy those kind of movies like that. Like I enjoyed Unbreakable. I thought that was a really cool concept. Pitting evil and good and things like that. I loved Hancock. I love the down and out, no good guy that has to come around, and he comes around. Like the opening scene in Hancock is him finishing off like a handle of whiskey before he goes and, you know, destroys the whole city by flying around. But he does good, you know. He threw the way, you know. He's just, I enjoyed that. It gives that real time, that real life vibe, and that's what the Samaritan does. It's about a guy who doesn't want to be a superhero anymore. It's about a guy who goes through a desperate battle with his brother, and then of course, you know, circumstances happen. There's a young impoverished boy who he connects with. You know, I mean, it's fucking Sylvester Stallone. You can tell the nigga's old. So he's just a regular old garbage truck driver, and he pulls things out of the trash and fixes them. But he'll also, you know, lift up a car, or you know, throw a man across the street, things like that. So and I thought it was really cool how they talked about his superpowers and his healing process. I thought it was really, really, really nice. It was one of those things where when his body gets damaged, it heats up to repair, and if he doesn't cool it down, his heart will explode. So he's literally like a ticking time bomb. When he gets injured, he just keeps heating up. So if he doesn't get injured, you know. But the cool thing, like, he takes cold showers. He eats ice cream. A lot of those things to keep his body temperature down, because heating up is his kryptonite, if you will. So, and of course, like they did in the Joker. I don't know if you remember the Joker, but they gave it that real life vibe. If there was a guy going around hurting people because he was hurt, you know, there's a reason we have school shooters, you know, and there's a reason we have copycat school shooters. There's a reason there are so many school shootings, and it's because somebody sees somebody else do it and they understand. So it just keeps going and it keeps going and it keeps going. Just like in that Joker. When Joker finishes up by the end of the movie, everybody's Joker. Everybody wants chaos. Because chaos is the only way out, you know? You're going to have your fucking Klan members, and you're going to have your police officers. You're going to have your... I feel like that's the same thing. Sorry. You're going to have all these different people. You're going to have all these different people at odds. And some people... And you think something's evil, and somebody else thinks it's great. And that can go on for a long time. So yeah, that's not a... Sorry, I was just thinking about comedy. So that's not a thing that you need to kind of concern yourself with. People are constantly trying to figure out what's evil, what's not. I believe we have supervillains and villains around us all the time, day to day. And sometimes it's weird. Sometimes so much shit is happening in the world. I'm like, man, I really wish a motherfucker like Thor would just come down and like natural disasters or some shit like that. Like you hope and pray, because when you look around in the world, and you look around, especially in our nation, sometimes I look around and I'm like, we only have villains. Very seldom do I see heroes anymore. The only heroes I really see are doctors, firemen. You know, no one's... I really want police officers to be heroes. It just can't. Their rap sheet is rough. They got a rough rap sheet. But the Samaritan is good stuff. I'm gonna go like 3.5 out of 5. It's standard. The acting isn't great. But you get the point. It's explosions. It's real time, real life situations. It's people latching onto a bad idea and thinking that that's for them. Some of us think that it's the system that's completely against us. Some people think that we're not using the system enough. So it was cool, man. You know, old man kind of comeback story. Kid sees his hero. Lessons are learned. It's all very kind of standard, really. It's all very kind of standard. He walks off into the sunset, angry and peaceful, and the streets are quiet at night after that. So, you know, did it leave like a cliffhanger for a second Samaritan? Probably not. But it's always good to see Sylvester Stallone do anything. I'm gonna give it 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's not that. It's just not that compelling. Not gonna lie, man. I fell asleep on it twice. It took me 3 times to finally get through it. But sometimes, I don't know if you're like me. Sometimes I put on a movie just to fall asleep, but it just was not. The dialogue and the character involvement and things like that, it was just not that compelling. It very much so, once again, it kind of had that cheesy Netflix series kind of vibe. It's a Prime, it's made by Amazon, it's a Prime production, but it definitely has kind of like that cheesy series vibe. Like, you know, the story can only go so many places. There's no romance, there's no this. There's a beautiful story between him and the kid. And, of course, you know, the bad guy takes the kid. He's like, I'm going to take you because I know he'll come for you. It's textbook superhero stuff. Like Hancock kind of threw me for a loop. Hancock was so good when it threw me for a loop. I assumed that they were going to come out with a Hancock 2, but then Will Smith fucked that up, didn't he? So, that's it, man. You know, it's kind of lackluster. I've always loved seeing Sylvester. Stallone. But yeah, I fell asleep on the movie twice. It's okay. It's something to watch. And in a world where everything is being streamed, and we've got 5 different channels of 20 different, like, you thought we had a lot of fucking channels before? I remember there were only like 36 channels. Then it went up to like 65. And then it got digital and you had to scroll. And you just had channels with music on them and waves and shit. So, it's different now. Now you have 1,000 options on 5 different, we have 5,000 channels now. If you can't find something on TV that you want to watch, people say, I've never seen Casablanca. Shut the fuck up. It's on TV. It's one of my favorite things about HBO Max. I don't like it for the HBO stuff. I like it that I can go to like Turner Classic Movies, Adult Swim, things like that. That's why I fucks with HBO Max. But there's so many options. So it's something to watch. It's a good way to, it's a good way to fuck off an hour and a half. But I wouldn't put it in a category of like great superhero movies. It definitely doesn't have the action or the suspense of, say, a Hancock. That real life kind of vibe that they put to it was probably the best thing they could have done to it. But yeah, it's all right. It's got Sylvester Stallone in it. But just remember, man, that's to thank the real heroes, man. To thank the real heroes. Next week I will be at Dragon Con, so I will have all the videos for everybody, so you can see all the ridiculous, out of shape. People love fucking getting a Spider-Man outfit with weighing 300 pounds. Why is your stomach sticking out? Which Peter Parker are you? And I guess with the multiverse now, you can be a fat fuck in a spider outfit, and everybody's gonna be like, cool. I'm the pig, whatever. I don't know. That wasn't funny. I'm sorry. When I'm not funny. But yeah, that's it. That's the jam. That's the Samaritan in a nutshell. Sylvester Stallone's in it. It's kind of a grunge, kind of real life take on superhero stuff. But all superheroes are born from a birth defect, so that's pretty much what that is too. But yeah, it's a movie to watch. It's a movie to watch. I'm gonna go 3 stars. I'm gonna take that half a star off. I was giving the half a star because I was saying 3.5 because Sly's in it, and I fuck with Sly, and he brought that Rocky energy to it. But the nigga only makes like 2 faces. But so I'm gonna give it 3 stars out of 5. And I feel like I'm being generous, but I fuck with you. I fuck with you, Sylvester Stallone, and like I said, there's a bunch of shit to watch out there. This is totally one of those things that you can throw into your fold and say, oh yeah, I saw that. But spectacular it is not. So y'all have a great time. Thank you for listening. I know it was a little choppy today. Like I said, I got kids and a bunch of stuff happening. So stay tuned, subscribe, like. Dragon Con's on the way. Everything is going to be everything's going to be really awesome, man. We're going to have a good time. I'm going to a ball at the aquarium. I still don't know what I'm wearing. I got to go buy a spooky suit. I got to buy a bunch of shit. I'm the busiest, brokest motherfucker you'll ever meet. I can't imagine, who knows? So, yes, I need to start getting ready. Actually, I probably should just tell my girlfriend I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it. I don't think I want to perform tonight. I've been performing all day, man. So thank you. Click, subscribe, like, come to Uptown. Late Night with Tim is going to be a show. So it's going to be a talk show. It's not going to be a podcast. It's not a fucking podcast. But y'all tune in. Thank you so much for all your support, and we'll see you soon. The Samaritan. It was meh.